How's everybody doing out there? Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. This is The Awakening, and I am Supersonic. And I want to go ahead and do a quick video. This is just going to be a part of the Oracle series where I just do give spiritual commentary over the current events that's going on in the earth and things like that. Recently, this isn't recent, but I mean just in modern times here, we've discovered a lot of things. We've discovered a lot of things about the earth, and we also have discovered a lot of things about space and the atmosphere, things that exist, that's out there. There's also been a lot of moving the goalposts when it comes to outer space and the theories that are set. Really, we don't know. We learned just enough to know that we don't know anything. That's it. We learned just enough about outer space to know that we don't know anything. Recently, in modern times, they discovered, we thought that, like in times when we went to the moon, look, this has been debunked. Now, I'm not saying we never went to the moon, but the first time, the time when you saw that there's one step for mankind, that stuff was recorded in a studio. Do you understand? It's been proven. Like the knowledge is out there. If you don't want to get it, and you know, some people are like, they're indoctrinated. They're indoctrinated by the country. They're indoctrinated by man. They'll believe anything that the government tells them. They'll believe that. That's true. You've been having this. Why do you think people have ran to wars throughout American history? You've had people been indoctrinated through country doctrine by the government. They've served. That's who they serve. They're under the guise of government and things like that, and patriotism. They've served. That was their God. That's been America. That's been people's gods. So we've believed everything that they've told us, every piece of lie. And if you still believe that the government is telling you the whole truth and telling you everything, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you're not ready for the next level of conversations. You're not ready to go to the next level. Like, you're their foot soldiers. You're what the Lord calls the sheep, and you're lost. Like, you're lost because you should be questioning everything at this point. At this point in time, you should be questioning everything. You understand? Christians give you the gospel. You do with that, use that gospel and seek your own path of enlightenment. The same thing you do with any knowledge of God, the creator. You understand? You seek that out. And Jesus Christ told you that he is the light and the only way to God. You understand? If you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, you will have you can and will have a relationship with God, and you will have a place at his side for eternity and eternal life because of the heart that you have within. You gave Jesus Christ a chance, you know what I'm saying, instead of just being so arrogant and thinking it's all about me. But when it comes to NASA and things and all of these things, you should be questioning it. Just because you don't have a degree in space science or something like that, that doesn't matter. You can still use your common sense brain. The Lord says, study to show yourself approved. I uploaded the short that shows you when you type in flat earth backwards, flatearth.com, type that in backwards, it's going to pull up the NASA website. We all know that Satan loves to flip everything backward on its end. Satan does what God does. Satan wants to reverse it. That's what he does. See, God in the Bible told you that the earth is a firmament. You can't get out of that firmament. The heavens exist outside of that. You can't get out of the firmament. You don't even know what it is. You understand? And it's a dome. It's like a dome that you can't get out of. Now, if you look, recently in the modern times, we just discovered now astronomers are saying that the moon is in Earth's atmosphere. The moon itself is still within Earth's atmosphere. No human being has left Earth's atmosphere. When you see Even the satellites, they're traveling within Earth's atmosphere. Now, you've had people who you can call whistleblowers from NASA. You can go look this up. But people try to bury them and act like that this isn't something that we should listen to. But then when you have whistleblowers, and I'm using air quotes, in other instances, then you want to listen to them and try to, like, we should be looking at them like whistleblowers in the music industry. Oh, they telling the truth. Why are you not saying that with the people in NASA? When the guy said that they've had tests to where they've tried to leave Earth's atmosphere, and the radiation was so powerful that it will break through. It will come through, not only come through the ship, the radiation, it'll come like a spirit. It'll come through the ship and blind. It'll come through the ship and then break through they radiated shield barrier. It'll break through the shield that's in their suit. So not only is the radiation so powerful, it's coming through, it's penetrating the ship. It's now penetrating their suit, and they haven't even got out of the ship yet. They said the radiation was so strong that they couldn't see. They couldn't even open, like it was penetrating their shields. Do you think, how you gonna operate out there in space and the radiation is that strong? Though that doesn't, like, that's why you haven't seen anybody or any expeditions coming from NASA where they haven't even attempted to go to do anything like that. Like, they're not attempting, like, you heard them talking about, they've been talking about things for years. People be sinking money into NASA. It's a big racket at the end of the day. Like, I'm not saying that all of it is now, again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all of the things that they've discovered are false. Because we can, like, do the sending satellites and things. We discover and we can observe the things that God has made. We can, and God gives us the ability to be able to break down certain things and understand certain things. Like we understand how, that there are certain hydrogen gases. That's how we figured out that the moon is in the Earth's atmosphere. We've been able to measure certain distances. We've been able to see. We've labeled the stratosphere, different layers of the atmosphere. There's different layers of the Earth's atmosphere. You understand? So it's a lot of things that we have discovered, but there's also a lot of things that people have theorized and just that have been totally false. And there's also been some things that people have told you that have been totally false. Very huge, significant things like the NASA moon landing, that did not happen. And not at the time that they told you it did. If they ever got to the moon, it was many years later. And we know that we now know the moon is in the Earth's atmosphere. Yet and still, you still within the Earth's atmosphere. No human being has left the Earth's atmosphere. They've sent probes. They say they've sent things like, satellites and probes to Mars or off to further distances. That's what they say. You understand? But I pay attention to NASA and things like that and keep up on these things. I just don't I ask myself these questions like, what are you doing? Like somebody said all they do is be producing CG images. I know they actually be studying things, but they don't produce something. That's all I'll be asking myself. Produce something significant. You would think with all of this pedunkering you doing, you would produce something significant. But what it is producing you is basically what we already know. The Earth, the Earth has an atmosphere to it. We have these, now you have people who will say, like I said, the flat Earth theory, some people would say that that's utterly nonsense. That's false. That couldn't be possible. Well, that just depends on if you buy into everything that you've been told, or do you go out and seek other knowledge for yourself? Because if you buy into you just be like, oh, I'm just gonna digress because they work at NASA, they know everything, I don't have to use my brain. Well, that's on you. And you're an intellectually lazy person. I don't bank my life on what somebody else think. You understand? No, I don't. I mean, I can use my brain. I may not know all of the coagulant, jagulant intricacies, the A, X. I don't know all that, and that's what I'll leave up to them. You understand? But because that's just doing nothing but explaining what's going on. But I can observe, and we can study. We can go find knowledge, and and you can formulate what your own knowledge about this. Get you a telescope if that's the case. If that's what because at the end of the day, we know that we've been lied to for a long time, and that's it. And I'm not saying now we're going to continue to live and just continue to observe. All you have to do, us as Christians, just let people talk. You understand? Then they're gonna talk themselves into a corner. Just let them continue uh to put out information and things like that. All this stuff does a lot of this science contradicts itself. You understand? But that's the nature of it. You understand? They'll tell you one thing they'll say something with such fervor, like it's a matter of fact, but then come turn back around later down the line and just tell you that that's utterly false, and then we're gonna be looking at another into another theory. But you was just making it seem like that was just so matter of fact, like that was the most likely of things. So don't that's why I say, man, Jesus Christ is the rock that we should put our faith into, not men. You understand? Jesus Christ doesn't change. He is what he is. He is who he is. We have the gospels, we have the things the Bible, we have the things that God has, the knowledge that God has given us. We can attain more knowledge now by studying and studying to show ourselves approved, and not just depending on what someone tells us. We can be grounded and have assurance and live our life with assurance. We don't have time to be keeping up with the next popular theory, then the next theory. Now you're going to tell us that, what if you just come out and they have knowledge that the earth is flat? You would never know. They'll never tell you that, because that'll just totally disrupt this whole racket, which is NASA. You would never know that. Like, the mainstream wouldn't tell you. So that's what I'm saying. We really do have to pay attention to not be deceived. NASA is in the Bible. NASA, that's in the Bible. That's a word, a Hebrew word that stands for that means to beguile, to deceive. Yes, it is. NASA is in the Bible, and the word means to deceive or beguile. Yes. And what did Satan do in the garden? He beguiled Eve. He did. That's what Satan does. He's beguiled the whole world. He's deceived the whole world. And you've bought into everything that he sold you. Hook, line, and sinker. So I pray that, there is awakening. And the power of the Lord is moving on the earth in a very big way in these times. We're going to see the power of the Lord manifest very soon. So I pray that people wake up, and there's an awakening that goes on when it comes to these rackets and these lies that we've been told, because that's a lot of money that go into NASA for them to be, you need to produce something. For you to put all this money and millions, if not billions of dollars into something and not have it really produce, like you would think like they would give you some ultimatums or time limits. Like, we need the people who funding you, but you just taking money. All right, man. Like I say, and you have some people who are really just some science, like they've been indoctrinated. There's some science fiction, space, like they really love outer space. I have a brother who's like that. I love him to death, but he's into that. He's like a space jockey. Like, he loves outer space, and I'm not mad at it. You understand? That's not a problem. But that's what he's into. And so in turn, for some people who's not so into it like that, they like, look, like, you just a businessman sinking money into this. You like, produce something now. You understand? Now, like, if you looked in the Marvel movies, you be seeing in like how you have a scientist, they be creating a serum, a serum that could heal the whole world. Man, the person who funding the money, they don't care. They just like, man, are you producing what? Man, I'm gonna give you a deadline, or I'm gonna shut you down. And then the dude to get a brilliant man to be shut down, and his whole he be just relegated to being on the streets, a lunatic. So look, but that's just that's how it is though. Like, but it's like that with anything but NASA. In these rackets that Satan wants to push, because this is part of Satan's agenda. Satan has to fool you with these things. He have to keep you confused thinking with these things. But now we have the knowledge that the moon is in the Earth's atmosphere. It won't surprise me that if down the line they tell you that the sun is in the atmosphere too. And that's just going to be part of what the Lord has said, what the Bible says. That's the firmament that you're in. So with that being said, this is Super Solican, and this is The Awakening. Peace and blessings to the hearers and doers. I'm gone.